Hi all, welcome back to Disrupting Diabetes. Putting type 2 diabetes into remission requires focus and discipline and also support. I've been very fortunate that I have a great support person in my partner Renelle. Today I talked to her about how she decided to basically change her life and her lifestyle with me, and it's quite interesting, especially to listen to her talk to about the change she made for her diet and the benefits that she got from that. So I hope you enjoy this video, and also we're getting a lot of subscribers, which is great. Keep subscribing, and also if you know anyone with type 2 diabetes, please share. But also if you know anyone that wants to also generally improve their health, please share with them also. So I hope you enjoy the video and keep disrupting diabetes. I also want to introduce my partner, Renelle. She's been behind the camera, now she's on camera. First time in this series of videos we've made. And the reason we're doing this is I want to highlight how important it is to have someone actually, well, she's coming along the diet journey with me, and how important it is to have support, because it'd be so hard to be doing this on your own, especially if you had a family and they wanted to keep doing their own thing. And it's made the task I took on a lot easier. So just to go through, well, I suppose her feelings and how it all happened and what she felt about it, is I was diagnosed through the optometrist, and I basically knew I had some sort of type of diabetes. Renelle was trying to be positive and say, you know, we don't know yet, we haven't had the blood test. And I sort of resigned myself to being diabetic. But I just want to say, like, we went and got the blood test, got to the doctor, and then he basically said, yeah, you got diabetes, but serious diabetes. And just how did you feel? We're expecting it? And
well, I wasn't really, because as you know, I haven't really had a lot of experience with it. No one in my family has had diabetes. You've had your mum, you've had your dad, you had your pre-diabetes. So I was just thinking, I couldn't actually comprehend that the optometrist would be able to diagnose you really first of all with diabetes, but we've since learned that that has happened to a few people, and the eye health does indicate diabetes. So that was pretty mind-blowing. But for the doctor to say, yes, you got diabetes, serious diabetes, that was pretty shocking, because I thought, well, the only experience I'd really had is seeing your mum. She has insulin and doesn't have great health, has a lot of issues off the back of the diabetes. So straight through my head, I'm like, oh, I think everything's just about to change here for us, like our life, the things that we do. We like to travel, we're getting towards where the kids are getting a bit older, and we have a lot of different plans. So straight away I thought, this is obviously going to change. But the most mind-blowing thing was Luca was quite shocked by it and very upset. But talking to the doctor, when you said, and I know you said it in your other videos, about can this be managed with, can we try our diet, he basically said no, and he just kept saying no, and in the end he was just looking at me and saying, now you've got to go see the diabetic nurse, and I'm going to write out these scripts, and absolutely no explanation of what the drugs are, when you should take them, how you should take them, why you're taking them. Didn't really go through the numbers, he just circled the number for the AC1, I think that's so that was pretty shocking. And he just said, oh, you should come with him and go see the diabetic nurse, and really no discussion of how this can be changed, how it can be fixed, or anything like that. So I sort of thought, like, if you had a different diagnosis, surely someone of something else like cancer, they would probably give you more explanation, but there was no explanation. It was just hand them out, go and see the receptionist to make the appointment with the diabetic, just take these basically.
Okay, so we walked out of the doctor's, I was prescribed metformin, Glyade and Capstat. So down to the chemist, and I took the medication, but when I got home I told Renelle I made the decision I'm not going to go with the medication, and I decided that I'm going to attack this purely with diet. And your thoughts from there?
Well, when we were at the chemist, because we went straight from the doctors to the chemist with the prescriptions, and when the pharmacist called out Luca's name and we went over to grab it, the pharmacist asked him, have you taken these before? And Luca said no, and he said, because it's quite a lot, especially if you are just starting out on it, it's quite a strong, the combinations, there's a lot of it. And I knew right at that moment, absolutely no way is Luca taking all of these. He may probably not even take one, because he doesn't like taking medication. And from my experiences with family members being ill and stuff over the years, I think pharmacists, they have obviously a lot more knowledge about the contraindications of drugs, where I've experienced that GPs really don't know. So yeah, I just thought that he paid for them, and I thought, you know what, he's probably not even going to take any of them. And to be honest, I think you think you've taken a couple of metformin, because I said, I think you need to take these, as the doctor said. And I'm starting to realise now, the more we research, the more we're talking to people, listening to people who've had this experience, everyone just trusts their GP without any question. And why wouldn't you? Because we were raised to do that, and we were told to do that. But I knew when the pharmacist said that, in true Luca's style, he's going to work out, if possible, how he can do this without taking those drugs. So I just knew like before he even got back and said that he's not taking it. So that's what I knew about that. But it is, what I'm finding now is people do need to question their doctor, because there are sometimes alternatives. And I'm not saying GPs don't know what they're talking about, but Luca has gotten some really, really good results, and he hasn't taken any of those drugs.
And that's what I'm saying, how important it is to have a person that supported me. Like some partners might have said, no, you have to take this, and basically force me to have them.
Well, I did feel like that.
I know you did.
But because as soon as he found out, like even before the blood test, he knew himself that he did have diabetes. He's had previous experience with it. That the research that he had done, listening to a lot of professors, listening to a lot of doctors.
Yeah, it was straight on the diet path.
It was his new hobby, watching these videos, reading articles and things like that. So he knew it was a possibility, and he'd actually known people have done it. Even as far back as like the last decade, some doctors were giving the advice of the diet. So I just knew straight away that he was not going to do that once he found that. But anyways, the research that he's doing, it's not just, watching a YouTube clip here and there. Like, there's a lot of research behind the choice that he made to not take the drugs.
Yeah. So with all the research I've done, obviously in previous videos I've told you what I did. I come home and decided to go down the keto diet, which is basically cutting out all carbs, all processed carbs, on minimal carbs.
Trying to stick to about 20.
And I also went down the 800 calorie a day and an exercise program which involved 10,000 steps and my push-pull leg weight program. You decided to come on board with the diet mainly. You were going to the gym 2 or 3 mornings a week as it was, but you didn't go down the 800 calorie path. And I did explain to her, I'm doing this basically for me, and I didn't want to pressure her into anything, but you decided, to being the good support person, that you'd come on the journey with me.
Yeah.
So the keto diet, what did you notice changed, and what did you think of it?
Well, I had previously done similar diet, which is called paleo, years ago for different reasons, not so much for weight loss, but that turned out that happened. So I was actually happy that you wanted to do that because I've been actually saying to you this.
Yeah, you had talked about it.
Yeah, I had
before.
talked about it. It was something that I was really interested in. It made a lot of sense. And so, yeah, I was actually really happy because I thought, well, now we can both, you're doing it for reasons. I'd wanted to lose weight. I'd gained weight. So, yeah, I was pretty happy about it, actually. So to be able to do it because Luca does most of the cooking. So, and he usually cooks whatever he wants to eat. So I was happy about that because that means you would be cooking. When we started, like I had all heaps of keto cookbooks. So we got all them down from the...
Yep.
There's
some good recipes in them.
There are some really good recipes. He was really focusing strictly on eating 800 calories a day. I didn't do that. I wasn't doing the crazy sorts of exercise that he did. Like you said, I did my PT 3 days a week and a couple of days a week I did yoga. But yeah, I wasn't doing as much as him and wasn't counting.
So it was mainly just protein, and I was having some sort of seed vegetables or some salad, and I mean cheese, eggs, and you probably not as big a vegetable person as me.
No, I don't really like vegetables, so I'm happy to have.
So you were happy to go along with it.
Yeah, I like the protein in it. I like the eggs, and I like the simplicity of it. Something that was a really weird thing because we have like quite a big family. Something that happened when we started keto, because obviously the kids, they make their own choices when they're out, but we're trying to bring it into the house as a regular way of eating, is our garbage disposal. Like how much garbage we had gone through
all packaged food.
Yeah, all from packaged food. Like we literally had to buy another garbage service to account for when we did have most of the kids at home. It's literally half. It's never full anymore. So that was just something that I noticed the other day. Yep. So, so everyone has cut down on it.
Yep. And weight started to drop.
Yep, so I started losing weight. We started actually thinking about our health a bit more. We went to Europe, had a great time, but we both probably ate and drank too much. So when we came back, well, it was a little bit after, probably December, which is a bit of a weird time to start thinking about what you're eating and exercise and cutting down on alcohol. But we did that anyway, and I actually did a DEX scan. And you'll see that there's some photos here before when I first started it, and some photos now. So I actually have lost a bit of weight just from, I haven't been really counting the calories or anything, but just from changing my way of eating.
Yep. So every Saturday morning I do my usual thing, walk to the gym to do my weight program, and I always put some sort of podcast on. It's about a 50-minute walk, and I'm usually listening to some sort of podcast to do with diabetes or exercise. And one guy I listen to a lot is a doctor in America. His name's Ken Berry. Heavily into, basically calls himself a proper human diet, so it's ketovore, carnivore sort of stuff. And one morning he had an interview with a lady named Kelly Hogan, who basically went full carnivore and dropped 100 pound or something. And I thought this would be something Renella would be very interested in. Flicked to the podcast, and before it even got home, you'd listen to it, and from there, what changed?
Well, actually, I met you at the gym because I was coming.
Oh, you did?
Yep. And straight away, you were doing whatever workout you did. I said, I'm going carnivore on today. That's what I'm doing. Like, you were actually laying on the weight and just doing your weight. So I'm going carnivore today. That podcast, I don't even know if he had actually fully listened to it.
Yeah, I did. I had listened to it, yeah.
Because she was, her story was really inspiring because she had tried everything to lose weight. You know, she was eating the standard American diet, which is, in my opinion, it's worse than what we, the standard
very similar.
I know we're getting similar, but it's harder for them to get the sort of food that we have. Anyway, she was young, she was really overweight, obese, and was struggling with fertility, and she basically she had starved herself all the time, like 1,200 calories, like probably most women. I know myself since I was 15 years old, being on a diet, and starving yourself, depriving yourself of food, issues with eating, and just total deprivation, thinking about food, not thinking about food, thinking the best thing is to eat less food and low fat, and that was what the trend was, in the late 1990s, early 2000s when I was younger. But she literally started, and this isn't probably the way that I would talk, but she literally just started eating McDonald's burger patties.
Right, burger patties.
Because I don't think she really knew what to cook, and her doctor said to her, just start eating meat, eggs, and any type of protein, really, chicken, whatever, seafood. We eat a lot of seafood, not just meat. But she literally, for the first 4 years, just ate meat, and she shed so much weight. And what I found interesting about it was, I can't relate, but she had a lot of struggles with fertility. Pretty much when she lost the weight and she started eating the carnivore way, all of these health issues. She had boils on her body. She had so many, like, you'll have to watch we can put the link to that actual interview with Dr. Ken Berry and Kelly Hogan from My Zero Carb Life, because it's really interesting. You have to listen to it. She had so many issues, and she literally shook them with eating meat.
Yep.
She doesn't really eat any vegetables at all, does she?
No.
She first 4 years she was eating, still drinking Diet Coke and stuff. She was getting cravings. She cut that out. Now she eats every whole food. Like, she literally eats no processed food. But what was inspiring about it was she'd been to so many. She'd been to like IVF specialists, all of that, and literally just eating whole, real food changed her whole life. And the thing that I found most inspiring about it, because everyone can lose weight, but the challenge is keeping it off. And so she has kept it off, and she's really super lean. She's a super lean lady, isn't she? She's kept it off for 12 years, and that's what I found inspiring, because as a woman, or maybe just as anyone, for me, it's been up and down, cycling through, being thinner, being fatter, having kids, whatever, but she seems to maintain her leanness, and on her pages she just seems to be just eating all the time. So I just started following her, and that from that day I really haven't eaten that many vegetables, because I don't like them.
So I continued the keto, but I'm eating more vegetables that, like your sauerkrauts, your fermented vegetables, more than fresh vegetables. But you've gone basically full carnivore, and you're talking about how satiated you feel, and I'm counting calories, whereas you're not.
That's right. So I feel like really a weight has been lifted from me, because my whole life, probably since I was 15, I remember I used to have bought this little book that had the calories of every food. I used to write them down, and then as the technology progressed, it was apps. It's the first time in my life that I haven't lived and died by what is going in my mouth. I used to snack it. I'm not actually a huge eater, but I would snack a lot. And now I eat 2 meals a day. I don't eat breakfast, but I might eat at about 11, and then I like to eat earlier.
Yeah, like the other day, I was going to eat later in the day, but you started to get a little bit hungry. You just go in, grabbed an egg,
or
that's two, right. And you're
something
right.
like that. Where before, like I was snacking a lot because I'd feel hungry all the time. Now I'm literally, it's my 2 meals a day.
Yep.
I don't feel like I need to snack. I feel so satisfied with my food, and I love the food that I'm eating, and I feel really light. And I don't know if anyone else felt like, just sometimes you just feel yucky in the tummy. I don't feel like that anymore, and I feel very mentally alert, and that's something that I've struggled with, because when I had COVID, I reckon I had whatever people were calling long COVID. I was getting a lot of brain fog. Just word finding issues for a couple of months after, because we had a pretty good dose of when we had COVID. I've found that's that just eating the meat and, well, not just the meat, but cutting out the processed foods has made me more alert, made me sleep better. We're waking up at like 5 or 6 without, like, we don't need alarms. So I've just found the carnivore works for me because it's simple. If I'm at home by myself, like I try and get Luca to cook up some things like, like make hamburger patty things out of just mince, put cheese in the middle, cook it with butter. So if I'm I work from home, so if I'm at home and Luca hasn't come home for lunch, I'll literally just get 2 of those, heat that up, and that's my lunch. And it's so easy because I don't really like cooking. I like it. Luca makes such a grand deal out of food because he loves food. Even now, everything is presented so well and there's always flavour within the boundaries of the keto diet. For me, I'm very simple with my food and I just love the carnivore. But more than the weight loss is the way that I feel. And like I said, I feel like I've had shackles removed from my wrist from not having to count calories and think about what I put in my mouth.
Yeah, so 2024 is probably...
It's been a lot of changes.
Yeah, a lot of change. It hasn't gone, I suppose, at the beginning of the year how we thought it would go, but it is what it is, and you try and find a positive out of everything, but which I think there is a few positives, but just to go back to what our lifestyle was like, I know for me personally, Friday couldn't wait to start drinking alcohol, and we were basically eating out at least twice a week.
Yeah, we would.
And I do feel I was drinking probably too much alcohol for me, definitely. I mean, you used to drink a little bit, but
yeah, we both drank, but I just probably couldn't drink as much as you. But it was a massive part of, I guess, our life, our relationship, what we did, something that we really like to do, probably at least once a month, maybe every second week. We'd have all our kids come over and their partners, and we would prep all the food because we would want to have it all prepped so we didn't have to do stuff, because then we could start having drinks. And sometimes you'd be having a drink at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the kids would still be here at night, and so we're still like drinking to that time.
And I know for me personally, like, I've cut alcohol out totally, and I thought that'd be
that for
the end of my life.
Yeah, for people who knew Luca, they just know, like, a lot of the things that we did were revolved around eating and drinking, going out. We liked to watch bands at just pub bands and things like that, and that was a big part of it. Now we wake up on Saturday and Sunday mornings pretty early, feeling fresh.
Yeah, I know for me personally, I find it now that alcohol's nowhere near important in my life, and I find I don't really need it.
And we've been to a few social events, like we had Luca's daughter's 21st, and everyone was
actually that was probably the first and only time that everyone was drinking. Obviously, it was my daughter's 21st, and I'd set myself the goal of no drinking for 3 months, and that was probably the only time where I thought
you wanted to
probably like to drink.
Yeah, you have been so unwavering, especially. I'm not surprised by the food. Like, you eat probably half as much as what you used to before, but just the being very unwavering with the not drinking alcohol has been. I didn't think that I would ever see you doing that.
And I mean, you've drank a couple of times in this period, but what's your, I suppose, how do you feel about, you've cut down on your alcohol, and do you feel like you want to drink?
Oh, look, we used to have fun before. Like, this year has, pretty much the first part of this year has been us dieting, working out, doing things. We're a lot more productive, I think.
For sure.
Just in general with life. No, I don't think that I go, I want to, start going back to drinking every Friday and Saturday night. No, and it's weird because if someone, like you said, if someone said to me now, you guys would be going through, the first part of 2024 really not drinking, or even if someone said Luca's going to be going to his daughter's 21st and not drinking, that would just be unheard of, because we really did like going out and socialising. But what I do want to stress is I don't want us for that to change. I don't want for us to not be enjoying any of the kids' events.
Yeah,
Still going to have the kids over. We're going to have the kids over tomorrow. I just think we have really pivoted what we think is important.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing, and this could probably take up a whole video, and I'm sure people who have started to be sober and not drink alcohol and also food as well, the peer pressure that you experience from people in your life, it's actually like being a teenager, because people cannot cope with not drinking, and I'm not sure what it is because I've never really ever been like that. If I'm having a drink and someone else is like, yes, you probably offer them one, and that they say no, that's it. But we find so many people, especially you, people want you to have a drink. They don't grasp it. We still sit there, like I can sit with a table full of people who've been drinking, but what I do find is I don't really enjoy those type of social situations where people like sitting around with people having a glass of wine in the afternoon is fine, but when it gets to the really late hours of drinking, that's not for us anymore. I don't think we'll probably ever really go back to that.
Well, I'm not drinking heavily, no. I can't.
Yeah, I know, but even me.
But don't get me wrong, I love a glass of wine, and I think once I get this back under control, I think a glass of wine here and there won't hurt me, and I'll probably see myself doing that again. But then,
I just find
the drinking days
the
are definitely
the longer days you go with no alcohol,
sure.
when you do have the alcohol, my days just don't feel good. I find it very hard to stick to my whole food eating plan. I have cravings the day or two after. Like last week we went to a friend's lunch. I had a few beers. The next day, I think I had 4. It wasn't great, and I actually thought to myself, I don't feel like doing that. I don't want to do that. And we were in a social situation, so where pretty much everyone was drinking. And I just thought, and we could have, because we could have got to live home with people, but I just didn't feel like it because I didn't realise how normal it is to feel good all the time. And it's the combination of not having the alcohol and the combination of not having the processed food. So I don't miss our old days. Yeah,
so like you said, and like the whole video is about support and how great you've been supporting me, and I mean the benefits you've taken out is definitely.
Yeah, I don't even think it's a sacrifice for me, because I was not glad you have diabetes, but in ways when I look back now, I'm glad, because if that didn't happen, who knows where we would have been at. And I don't think it's a sacrifice at all, but I do wonder how many people could be as successful as you have been with getting your blood sugars down if the other person wasn't on board.
Exactly.
Because I don't know how we would.
Yep, it'd be very hard to do this on your own.